Okay, so these are some of my EDC blades, and there's really nothing too special about any of these items. One item that I recommend that everybody have as an option is a Kubotan. This is a Fury Tactical Kubotan, and this allows you to jab, and you can also use this in like an ice pick grip. And this allows you to really amplify any kind of hand striking power. Now this is my absolute favorite neck knife. This is an MT for MTech, and let's see if I can get that in here. Okay, so the nice thing about this blade, I can't quite get is it actually fits in my hand real well. Notice I have large hands, and this fits in perfectly. This is looks like a Karambit style, but this has like a Wharncliffe tip, and the Karambit, it's more like a pistol, but this is run you about $10, and this is the MT667. So this is the MT667 neck knife. Now notice the grind on this. I actually took the bevel back a little bit. It came reasonably dull. Now you don't need this thing super sharp because the tip here is going to be doing most of the work. So this would be great if you know have any martial skills. So you can do light jabs, you can hit somebody in the hand. This is a great knife to basically keep somebody back. I jokingly call this my anti-jiu-jitsu blade, because anybody wants to grapple with me, well, they'll have to deal with something like this. So, and now the sheath here is actually a really great sheath for neck carry because it holds it in great, throughout my daily, if I'm lounging around the house, it still stays in quite nicely. So this one here, this is my Karambit. This is my Smith & Wesson Karambit style folder. Now this actually is a really nice knife. I like it, and it opens boxes, and it opens little packages really well with that curved hook blade. Also kind of fun to flip around. It's best to flip it around without the blade extended. So yeah, and this is just a really cheap. In fact, for the longest time haven't really liked this blade much. However, it's kind of my utility blade. And I have another MTech. This is kind of a no-name MTech, but it actually feels really good in my hands. Large hands. It's kind of got a thick. It has a thick base to it. It's actually pretty nice. Now, I've recently got a job working as a meat cutter. And these are my EDC everyday carry sharpening tools. This is a $10 DMT red. This is a DMT green. Now I don't even know who made this, but it's actually kind of a nice little knife sharpener. I'm trying to get it out one-handed. So the nice thing about this particular thing is it has it comes to a rat tail, it has a flat point, and it's got a little spot here for hooks. Now, I sharpen a knife every single day at work, and I cut chicken, so it has to be pretty fillet sharp. So one of my cuts is a fillet cut. So I use this, and I don't even know who makes it. This is probably about a 400 grit maybe. The red is like a 6 or 8. And this is my finisher for a 1200. So I use three knife sharpening tools, and I use this flat section here. Then I go red, then I go green to sharpen my knives. Now, to sharpen this blade, I actually used a slightly different tool because, like I said, it came a little bit dull. The point's fine, but I had to. Grab it here. I had to use a file. So when you use a file, you have to find the bevel, or pull the bevel back a little bit. I can't quite do that because I only have one hand here. So finding yourself a really good file is actually another nice tool to have. So if you have any kind of really difficult edge, or if you have to pull an edge back. Now there's another file which I don't have it handy. It's called a bastard file, which is probably your roughest file. It can run you $2 to $5. If you have a very difficult edge, then I would recommend pulling one of those out. Okay, so when I first got into knife sharpening, I had a hard time getting that razor, that hair popping edge. Now this is called, I believe it's just called like an Arkansas stick. This is actually a fine grit ceramic rod, and this actually works really great for putting on that fine hair popping edge. So to get something razor sharp, you can definitely use something like this. This will get something really close to razor sharp. So this particular tool will sharpen any of these kind of strange angled blades. So if you ever wonder how you sharpen a blade like that, you simply use this stick right here and you should have no problem. Lansky also has like a gray stick just like this, run you about $10. That stick is probably like an 800 grit. They don't really have grit numbers on the ceramics. So the Arkansas stick, we're talking like 1,000 grit, maybe even 2,000. So it's going to be your finishing tool. The green is a good finishing tool. It's kind of a gray or kind of a blackish Lansky stick. That's going to be kind of a medium grit. It's also going to be a little bit like this, your DMT red. So if you want to see some different kind of sharpening tools, if you want to sharpen something, if you buy one of these for, it costs you $10, and I highly, highly recommend this particular M-Tech blade. I mean, this is my best favorite neck knife. I have a neck knife from Cold Steel. I have a Cold Steel Spike neck knife. I have a couple cheaper knockoff knives for neck knives. And this one, the MT, I think I said it was 667. No. Yeah, MT667. There's an SO after it, but the SO you don't really need it when you look on Amazon.com. It'll run you $10, maybe $2 shipping. And these are some of my EDC knives. And this one's also highly recommended because this is going to be non-lethal as long as you don't hit somebody in the head with this. I've done the martial arts for a number of years. If you have one of these in your hand, you should be able to hit as hard as a trained martial artist with, very little effort. And so these are some of the different things that I carry, especially when I'm sharpening my blades at work. I mean, I use these 3 tools every single day, and I get my knife fillet sharp. So, all right. Those are some of my everyday knives and my everyday sharpening tools.